Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our weekly commodities update video. This is a review analysis on natural gas, oil, US dollar, gold, and silver. We'll be looking at their support and resistance levels, and as well as the most likely scenario where price is potentially going to head to for later next week. And if you guys are looking for the stock market update video and the Max 7s, check out the video from yesterday, where I did a lot of analysis on the overall market data, dark pools. You should check that out, and let's get started with natural gas first. All right, so natural gas here. Bulls had a nice first couple of days in the week and a couple of pullbacks on Thursday and Friday. They essentially pretty much hit this resistance around 3.58, which is a very clear resistance, right? Right here, reject, reject, reject. Comes all the way to here. Now active support because price was coming from above it, and now price is coming from below it. So it's also going to act as resistance. The question is, can the bulls hold here pretty much and form an uptrend? So right now, let's measure from the bottom of the move, right, to the top of the move. So this pullback is already 50% of this entire move up, right? So you measure from the bottom here to here is 100% of the move. And you can see we're pretty much right at this green box, which is 0.5, which is 50% already pulled back from this move. That's still okay, right? It still favors the bulls. But if we start cracking through the 50% mark, it's now giving bears enough space to form the lower high and lower low again. And that potentially go lower. So ideally, bulls want to hold pretty much right here at the start of a week. I mean, you can poke a little bit lower and come back up. But yeah, ideally, you want to hold this area if you're a bull. And look for potentially back test of this 3.58 again and see if we can break above here. If we can break up above this 3.58, then we are back into this structure, right? These structures here. So then we have a chance back up to 3.786. And then I'm looking, if that breaks, we can go back up to this $4 mark, which is one of the major resistance around this $4 mark. Reject, reject. See it? These are hard rejections. Another hard rejection right here. And you can see when we're above it, it acts as really strong support as well, right? You can see these bounces. It's $4 if we can ever get there. We'll take it one day at a time, right? 1 week at a time. We still need to form weekly uptrends and daily uptrends for us to get back up to $4. For the bears, if we do go a little bit lower, right, we're going to practice this $3 mark. Again, if we break this $3 low, we're looking there's really not that much below us, right? It's just this one, 2.98. And if we break below 2.98, there is just this guy left. Pretty much, that's not really a support, but this is the only thing we have for price down here, all the way down here at this 2.93. If that breaks, then the only thing there is that I can see, it would just be this maroon line. Fire resistance, 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 resistance. Multi-year breakout, right? If we do come back, break all these lows, then that's where I probably want to back test. And probably will act as support because we're coming from above it. Yeah, so that's the bull and the bear side. Let's see if bulls can show up right here and bounce. Otherwise, we're giving back too much of that. Although bulls did negate that weekly bear flag that we're talking about here for a while, right? Top move to bottom move. This is still a weekly bear flag. This is where bears should have slammed through it here and then get the follow through from the weekly bear flag. But bulls broke above it to the 50% mark. It's not great looking weekly candle, but you know, natural gas is a very volatile name, and currently the longer term trend is still on the downtrend, right? Monthly and weekly. So it does favor the bears at the moment where we can get these big downside days. But at the moment, bulls are trying to play defense. Let's see if they can do some offense here. Break this 3.6 level. That would be a clear uptrend confirm on the daily uptrend. And we can start zooming out to see if they can confirm weekly trends. I mean, technically this is a weekly uptrend confirm when we broke here, but it's absolutely zero follow through. I can see this upper wick. But it's not game over for the bulls yet, right? It'll be game over when this pivot breaks, when this $3.06 breaks. Yeah, that will mean that everything's back to the bear's favor. All right. If you guys got any questions, feel free to comment below. If you want to support the channel, like, share, and subscribe is always appreciated. Help the channel out. And let's continue with oil. So oil here. So this is pretty much a failed breakout. Exactly what the bears wanted to see. So the tiny range, right? Rejection, 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 rejection. Everything is a lower high. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. So pretty much a tiny range bull break and lack of follow through. The bears pretty much just cracked back down and everything. So now where is bears gonna go? So we have, if bears want to go lower, they have to crack this $60 mark right here. Trading view, just move my lines again. The $60 mark is essentially the gateway. Call this gateways, different structures, right? You can see when it holds above the $60 mark, we're trading between 68 and 60. So oil is a really range trade, but when we do break down below here in a very clear way, we're back into this structure, right? And then we're potentially going to be trading between here and here. So that $60 mark is the gateway to the bottom of the structure overall, if bears really want to crack below that. But if we bounce from here, then we're probably going to chip chop between this main trade, between 66 and 60. If we bounce from here, that's my opinion. Overall, it's a tough trade to trade oil. I would just trade something else. We have these kind of whipsaw, but if you're a really good main trader, then definitely oil is probably your thing. Yeah, this guy just loves to ping pong around. All right, let's take a look at US dollar. US dollar still really doing not that much, right? It's just chilling down here within the range as well. And we haven't broken out of this downtrending resistance as well. Reject, 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 still. And super clear resistance too, right? It wasn't just the green line, right? Right, reject, 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 reject. Same level, reject. Yeah, so small statement. Bulls need to get over 98.5. Any kind of significant bull break. Bears really need to crack below roughly this 97.5. Supports here. Yeah, 97.5 breaks. We're going to come back all the way down to 96.6. And if we can break above 98.7, which would be break out of this downtrending line as well, then we're going to probably visit 99.4 and then 100. All right, let's look at everybody's favorite, gold and silver. Yeah, insane. So this is why we talk about never shorting all-time highs, because you don't know where the top is, and there is no resistance, right? There's no levels to pay off of that when you short. So same thing. I have to say this all the time in the stock market update videos, right? We hit all-time highs. Let's not short it because it's tough. It's tough to nail tops. You will probably, if you keep on trying, you're obviously going to nail it, but you're probably stopped out multiple times along the way already. So yeah. So the question is, how would you short if you want to short here? Well, first of all, you want to wait for a big enough move. So you're going to miss the first drop. Essentially, this is what it is. And then once we get that big enough move, when it creates enough space, if we get a weak bounce, then you can start to position your shorts coming in here. And for the lower high, right? Once we get that next day thing, and actually, let me draw it in the candle wise. So let's see a couple of big candles down, right? Like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be like that big. And then we bounce back up, right? We get these candles. And then when one of the days cracks below the next day, this is where your shorts trigger in. And then you set your stop loss right there. And then if it decides to roll over and form a lower low to a daily downtrend, then you probably nailed the top, at least a temporary top. And then you scan out, do whatever you want. But if it's not, right, it tries to go, sometimes it goes a little bit lower and then zero follow through, and then we bounce back. Next, you get stopped out. That'll be a small loss, and that's fine. You took your setup, one stop, one try, and that's it. Versus, you're okay. I'm gonna short here because it's dented. Get stopped out. Oh, I'm gonna short here again because it's dented. Stop out again. Stop out again. Stop out again. Oh, it's still extended, right? You just don't know because extended can stay extended for a very, very long time. That being said, we are extended, but it can stay extended for a very long time. Yeah. You just look at this. It took let's see how many percent this is. 13. This one was even probably more extended. Yeah. 19. Okay, let's check this out. And we're getting there, right? 16 to 19 is kind of like that area where gold decided to slow down a bit. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's not after going 19 or 20, it's not going to go another 19 or 20 without consolidating, right? It likes to make these big moves and then kind of flags a bit, consolidates sideways, and then makes another big move up. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised after to see that. So if you're a bull, yeah, just keep holding on when we keep making higher lows. Higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So this is the last pivot being set right here. I mean, this is a pivot as well, but we haven't made a higher high. So if we break to new highs, then this is the new pivot right there. The Thursday's low, which is at 3842. A little bit of a triple top, but not really a triple top until it rolls over because this is just a little blip. This is probably daily consolidation and it could still be a bull flag at the moment. And we also close at the high. So it's not really a triple top resistance at the moment. If we close all the way down here, right, then we can argue, okay, maybe that's a triple top. There's resistance, right? These 3921, but really literally just close pretty much all-time highs and underneath it. So it's not really a rejection yet. So yeah, this looks like a ascending triangle. It's about to break out, right? Ascending triangle, our highs, everything is a lower high. Sorry, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And if this breaks above this 15-minute triple top, might be a ascending triangle breakout. It even goes all the way back here. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Every low is higher. Essentially, the psychology of ascending triangle is buyers are willing to buy at a more expensive price and they keep stepping up. And sellers are selling at the same price up here. So we'll see who ends out this short-term pattern. And for bears, like I said earlier, I wouldn't be shorting, but what you guys want to see is a big drop first. At least break the EMA 12. You can't even break EMA 12s, right? Then bulls are in full momentum. Break this down. And then once the EMA rolls over a little bit and bounces, right, you want to see them act as resistance and even form a downtrend. That would be what you guys want to see as a bear. I mean, if you want to be bear in the metals, I'd rather pick something weaker, right? There's so many other things to pick on than trying to pick on the strongest name with the strongest momentum at all-time highs trying to short, right? So, I mean, I get it. It looks nice if he comes all the way back down, right? It ends up being that kind of like a blow up top, but you don't know, right? It could be just a chill sideways. It could be like, oh my gosh, I got it, and then just kidding, and it goes consolidate. You know what I mean? Like it's you get this big move down, you're like only at the top, and next thing you know, it kind of just consolidates sideways and then flags. It's tough to short these things. And on top of that, when gold is doing well and you see even alts like metals like palladium, silver, copper, everything doing well too, then it's even tougher to short, right? The whole sector is doing well. So, and I talked about silver being no resistance either many times throughout the week because I said that I didn't really count this as resistance because it's 2012, right? Nobody cares what 2012's action is. around 13 years ago. So this is pretty much just treat this as all-time high breakout. But that being said, it is extended. I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back sometime soon on the weekly chart just to consolidate a little bit, chill a little bit, right? We're getting kind of these volume increases. So when when this peaks out, you'll see a peak volume as well, which we're kind of getting close there, right? You don't see that much volume historically. We got one over here. But this is more of a breakout volume, right? That we've been trading underneath here for multiple weeks, and this is where it broke out. Yeah. This is more like a 2020 to 2024. Okay, this is more like a multi-year breakout. So we got a lot of volume there come in, which makes sense. Bull break, follow through. So this is the second highest volume we have in a while, ever since that 2024 breakout. So it's probably, if you see these peak volume come in, then it might be a sign that it's a temporary top coming in, and we might consolidate a little bit. Doesn't mean we're gonna like just tank like this, but probably we'll be looking for some kind of consolidation coming soon. As you can see, volume is starting to peak out. Yeah. That being said, still no red flags. Nowhere seeing any kind of bears anywhere. They can't even, right? If bears can't even crack below just like one structure, right? There's not even a dip. This is literally bought up in a second. So then you're not really seeing any bears. For bulls, just keep riding the higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and just raise your stop losses, trailing stops. And at some point, you get stopped out with a lot of gains. So. All right, that's got for you guys. If you have to like, share, and subscribe, and if you have to comment, if you guys got any questions, and check out the stock market video from yesterday. And I do these every week, so make sure to subscribe and get notifications. And I'll see you guys next week for more stock market and commodities update. Have a great rest of you guys' weekend.